Well, hello, everybody. I like to call this Travel Tip Tuesday. We are doing a webinar, and then later today at 3 o'clock, we're doing an in-person, in-office seminar. And we have tried something a little different. I'm so excited about this. It worked real well about a month ago. We've partnered with the Globus family of brands because they are the #1 company in the world for hosted tours. But they also have a division called Avalon Waterways, so they do river cruising all over Europe. So we're doing these country destination seminar and webinars first. Today we'll be on France. A month ago we did actually the United Kingdom, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and of course England. But today we're going to be on France, and I'm so excited about this because I just got back from there literally 3 weeks ago. I love France. I've been to France, I guess, probably a half dozen times at least. I've never counted in my life, maybe more than that. And you cannot go wrong in France. Do you know? I was just talking to Robin. I love trivia. I love statistics. And do you know that France was the #1 country in the world for the last many years, by the way? But let's talk 2019 and 2020 for tourism. And tourism, by the way, attracts people from all over the world, not just Americans, but Americans the same way. More people go to France than any other country in the world, followed by Italy, and then Ireland, the United Kingdom. So today we're going to talk about France. I've got Robin Piper, our Globus family of brands and Avalon River Cruise representative, with us to talk about that. But Robin, I know when you are at events and are talking to the customers, France is always a country people are interested, isn't it?
Yes, you know, that beautiful Eiffel Tower, the great wine, all that history, it really gets to people. And, you know, you see that icon of the Eiffel Tower for years before you get there. And it is so magnificent once you see it up close.
Another fact or trivia that a lot of people don't know, at the turn of the, I guess it'd be 20th century, 1899 into 1900s, the citizens of France, of Paris specifically, wanted the Eiffel Tower removed. They thought it was an eyesore. It was built for the World's Fair, and they thought it was an eyesore. And some probably entrepreneurial politician figured out, no, they can make it something that is representative of France, of Paris, and brings tourism in. And as it is right now, there is probably not one single building or icon anywhere in the world like the Eiffel Tower that equates Paris and equates France, kind of like the Arch does in St. Louis. But Robin, that's true. I wanted you to know that. I'm full of trivia today, full of facts. Robin, France is a fabulous country, and it's so uniquely different. It's to your point. I mean, history, there's so much history there. You know, the Roman army, when they came and conquered what was then Europe, not France, it wasn't a country at that time, came up through the Rhone River Valley, where you have your Avalon River cruises go. And matter of fact, one of the biggest coliseums in the world is in Arles, which is South France. The popes lived in Avignon and ruled out of Avignon for, 100 years or something like that. People probably don't know that. There's a whole papal city there, like the Vatican, in Avignon. But Robin, anywhere you would go in France, whether it's the north area, into Giverny, where Monet's gardens were, or Normandy, DDay, or whether you go in the Loire Valley, which would be due west of Paris, for the Palace of Versailles and all of those incredible chateaus there, or whether you're up in or out in Bordeaux, which is known as some of the best wine regions of the world. It doesn't matter where you are in France, there's always a lot of history, a beautiful scenery in most cases. And you are so right, their wine and their culinary, I don't know if anybody does it better than the French do.
I know, I just, it always, when I'm in France in general, I mean, I just feel like I'm in such a special place. And that's one of the reasons why, that combination of the wine and the great food and, all the beautiful sights and the people, that's what makes it stand out to so many of us. So I did want to just kind of remind everybody, we're going to talk mostly about Globus today and also about Avalon. But with Globus, that's our first class touring product. That means you'll have first class or superior first class hotels in the heart of that destination, because you will have free time. Even though it's a tour, you will have afternoons free, you have some evenings free, and that makes it really nice so you can go out and explore when you're centrally located. Our motor coach transportation and our drivers are professional and they're top notch. You also have Wi-Fi in the hotels and in our coaches. And then don't forget that VIP skip the line. I still remember the first time I went to Paris and went to the Eiffel Tower, and the lines were they were like from Kansas City to Topeka. I mean, just people on every leg of that beautiful monument. And we went straight to the front of the line and went through security and got to do, our exploration of the Eiffel Tower. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was there by myself, right? If, I just put together a vacation. And so we really just want to make sure that you have all the great tools, like our tour directors that are from the region. We have local tour hosts that will, maybe they'll do the tour of Giverny, or maybe they'll take you on a culinary tour of Paris. There's lots of different ways that you can experience this great product. So I think Mark touched on this a little bit earlier. These are all going to be land tours like we talked about. And Paris, Normandy, and Chateau Country is really one of our best sellers. It's, you get time in the Loire Valley. You get time in Paris at the beginning and the end. And if you notice that map, it's got a green circle with 2 nights with the number 2. That means at the beginning of the tour, you're in Paris for 2 nights. And at the end, where the red dot is, you're there for an additional 1 night. So if you really want to focus in on some great stuff in Paris, you've got the time to do that. But then we'll also take you up to the Normandy beaches, which is really quite an impressive part of history, and feel very patriotic, or at least I did, because we will make a stop at the U.S. Memorial, and we do a small ceremony. We participate in a small ceremony, and it is a piece of history that I hope we never forget, and I hope we never have to do something like that again, right? And then you'll go to Mont Saint-Michel, and then over to the western side of France. And so this one just has a lot of great opportunities. And here's some more. We've got Giverny, which is Monet's gardens. There'll always be some great wine. You'll see lots and lots of great castles. And like I mentioned before, we will visit the American Cemetery. Now, the group will actually be split into 2 groups because we also have Canadians that join us. So you can either go to the American Cemetery or you can go to the Canadian side. Now, another great way, Mark, did you know in 2024, it is the 80th anniversary of DDay?
Robin, I did, because I was just there on the 78th anniversary of DDay. And
I was hoping that I would trick you. Man.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm one of those geography nerds and date nerds. And Robin, if I can make sure I let the audience know right now, the tour you just showed, I would call that like the best of France with that. Yeah, that one right there. When you get to experience, obviously Paris starting and finish, you can't go wrong there. Normandy and Giverny, that area right there, which is that Seine River area that's so spectacular. And then you get out to Mont Saint-Michel, which, holy cow, is kind of a little bit away from things, but it is a spectacular place to visit. And then in that western part of France in the Loire Valley, absolutely. That's a winner of an itinerary, is my comment.
I agree. And, if Mark endorses it, that really means an awful lot to us because we know he's so well traveled. And, when you're listening to his radio show or you're listening to us today, it is always so great to work with the folks at Cruise Holidays, including Mark, of course. So we also have a little bit of a shorter version that really just focuses in on D-Day and the landing beaches and that historic battle. So you'll go to Utah and Omaha beaches, you'll go to Juneau, you'll get the full history of this region. And in addition to that, we also talked, you're going to be spending some time in Paris, so you can still see the Arc de Triomphe. You can still go to the Louvre Museum. And there's also a great Airborne museum. So there's a lot of different things that you can do that aren't just about the landing beaches. We want to make sure.
Let me interject too, though. This is a great trip for those independent travelers that maybe want to do Paris on their own, or maybe they've just done a river cruise in southern France on the Rhone or the Saône rivers, and they're coming back to Paris, taking that 5-day trip up to Normandy and learning. This is the thing, man, you can go to Normandy and you can go to all those beaches, but you're not going to learn the history and the behind the scenes stuff that you will learn when you have a professional guide that takes you through and gives you the behind the scenes tours, the history of that whole area of World War II, especially. It's just absolutely magnifique. And I would tell you, I agree with you. I was there on the 74th anniversary of D-Day, and I don't think I have ever felt more patriotic, Robin, in my life. So Normandy beaches, D-Day is a big deal, and I hope whether it's the 79th or the 80th anniversary, you'll consider going there.
Absolutely. We celebrate it every year and think of those that served. So it is a very patriotic feeling when you're traveling this itinerary. Now, I also wanted to go over some stays that would include France, but also have a little bit more flavor to them. European Sampler is one of those. It's 9 days, which is actually a great amount of time. Some people like to stay in 7 to 8. I like 9 because it gives you a little bit different pace of the tour, but this will actually start in London, and then you see it goes all the way and it'll loop around and end in Paris. So you've got a little Switzerland in there, you've got a little Germany, and of course Amsterdam and Holland. Now, oh, so sorry. That picture I was showing you, this is Versailles, and it's just one part of this region that is so magnificent. So you'll get a chance to visit some great places, even the Rhine Falls. And so there will be a short cruise. It's not one of our Avalon cruises, but there will be a short cruise to take you through a certain section of the Rhine Falls, which is very important. Also, Lucerne, if you've never been to Lucerne, oh my goodness, it is fantastic. The beautiful flowers abound. They're everywhere. Great shopping, great little cafes. And then, of course, in Amsterdam, I don't know, would you ride a bicycle in Amsterdam, Mark?
I gotta tell you, I don't think I would. And we tell all our guests that go to Amsterdam to be careful of the bicycle riders. There's many times more bicycle riders than there are cars.
And every time I see this, I think, oh, I would never ride a bicycle, but I always put it in the picture, always in the PowerPoint. So that's kind of funny. So again, that gives you a little bit more time to explore. And then if maybe you wanted to do Paris, but you also wanted to do a little bit of Italy, and you'll transition from Italy to Switzerland and then to France. And that is, something that we do on this particular itinerary. And you will get to go to those Vatican museums. You'll get to see the bell tower, of course, more time in Lucerne, and you'll actually get to see the canals of Venice. And we do have a great hotel that we utilize in Venice. It's right there on the waterfront. It's real. I mean, at the back of the hotel, there's actually, just that little dock, and whether it's the speedboats or the gondolas, they have gondola parking there as well. So that is really a nice hotel that we include as well. Then, of course, you might want to just get away for a little bit of time. And this is actually a tour that my daughter and I are going to be doing. And it is London and Paris. Nothing more exciting for a 14-year-old girl than to say she gets to go shopping in Paris. And so you actually, it's really nice because you'll be in London for the first 3 days. You can do, your sightseeing and all that. We do have lots of included sightseeing, the must-see stuff. And then we also have cooking classes that you can add on, or maybe you might want to do a photo shoot in front of the Eiffel Tower. You can do those sorts of things with us. When you go over to France, and you will actually do that with the Channel. And Mark, have you ever done the Channel from London to Paris or reverse?
It's on my bucket list. A lot of people do the Channel.
Well, maybe we'll have to do it together because I haven't done it either. So I am looking forward to my trip next year. I'll tell you all about it. Okay, Mark?
You got it.
All right. So moving along, all of those that I was just showed you, those are going to be our Globus product. However, I did want to highlight a couple of really good itineraries that are with Cosmos. Remember, with Cosmos, you're going to have a lower price point, which is really budget friendly. And you're also going to have the must-see sites included, but then you'll have optionals. So if there's 2 ways you can look at it. You can go and stay at a hotel with us and do the tours as we go. Or if you wanted to go off on your own, with the free time, you could do that as well. We're just, giving you some more choices of what you can add when you're in destination. So we don't include as many meals, but we do include the must-see sites, right? So this one is going to, again, start in London, but we've added in Brussels. And then we'll do a little bit of that Rhine cruise to the Frankfurt area. And then we will head to Innsbruck in Austria, down to Venice, just some really great stops. So in this, like I said, Rothenburg, Germany is one of my favorite places. It just looks like it comes out of a Christmas card. And then Lucerne, you can go and see the Lion Monument and learn a little bit more about its history. And then, of course, I love Venice. I think between Venice and Burano Island, they have so much to offer by way of the glass blowing and things like that. If you're looking for some great gifts, I would definitely take a look in Venice. They have a lot of those. You'd like this, Mark. I have a whole box of beautiful hand-blown glass that are actually wine toppers. So maybe I'll have to send one of those to you in the mail.
Please do. I like Innsbruck, by the way. Wow.
Yeah, Innsbruck is a great destination. And again, if you're sitting here listening today and you're like, I have this budget and, I want to try and make the most of it, these sampler platter kind of itineraries are great because you are really getting a diverse, that one is 7 countries plus Paris. So that gives you an awful lot of opportunity to see things. Now I just wanted to switch gears for a minute and we'll talk a little bit about Avalon waterways. And of course, there are certain rivers, in France that we operate on. We do the Seine, the Rhone, the Moselle, and the Saône. So we do have several different things that we can talk to you about. But before we do that, Mark, I get so excited when people travel with us for the first time on Avalon and they talk about this great open air balcony. And I know you're a fan of them as well, right?
Yeah, very much so. And Robin, I know you know this, but I'd like our audience to know this, that Mimi and I and all of us here at Cruise Holidays have really got into the river cruise business over the last 10 to 12 years. And it honestly has become my favorite way to vacation. And we love, love, love selling Avalon because we know the people that book an Avalon river cruise, no matter what river, even though we're talking France today, are going to
I think we lost Mark. He got so excited.
Right there, and their satisfaction will be, satisfaction on river cruising is greater than satisfaction on any other vacation segment in the world. I think that's pretty amazing.
Yes, and these beautiful award-winning panoramic suites, that window of walls is 11 feet wide by 7 feet tall, and it opens 7 feet. So while you sit inside on your love seat or that great little chair that we show you inside there, you can have your continental breakfast delivered to your stateroom, and you can kind of watch the world go by. River cruising for me is one of the most relaxing ways to ever travel. And I have traveled lots of places. I know Mark has too. And I just really appreciate all that Avalon brings to our customers. So like I said,
yeah, let me, if I may, Robin, I want to give a big, I want to applaud Avalon specifically because of the satisfaction you all deliver. And to make sure our audience knows that maybe if you're going to be in France, let's just say, or Europe for longer than 7 to 10 days, package a river cruise with one of those exciting land tours also and get the best of both worlds and do a 20, 30-day trip if you want. More and more people are doing that.
yes, I mean, airfare is, you want to build in time between your airfare, and it is nice to get a couple of countries knocked out at the same time, all on the same trip. So when you're on Avalon, we really want you to feel at home. It's a relaxed luxury. I was talking about, having your continental breakfast in your stateroom. Of course, we include wine and local wine, local beers with lunch and dinner. Sodas are also included. But then we also have a lot of different choices as far as dining. We don't do assigned seating at the main, at dinner. You can come in anytime between 7 and the different courses. Then sometimes we even go up on the Sky Grill. And, when we're in France, typically you'll have at least one day where we do crepes. We'll do sweet crepes and savory crepes. Oh, they're just fantastic. And our staff is so excited to be back in action and ready to welcome all of you on board Avalon.
Robin, if I can interject, your staff, that's one of the things Avalon and Globus family of brands do so very well, whether it is the river cruise or the tours. And by the way, I love these pictures, Robin, that you show, like right there with the couple looking out the window in bed and in the morning, getting a cup of coffee right there, having it delivered to your room, or orange juice or a glass of wine in the evening, whatever it can be. And those rooms are just special because the scenery is something everybody wants to see.
Yes, you notice there is a TV monitor in the corner, but nobody really ever turns it on. The view is constant. And then I always like to point out with our beautiful suites, we also have these beautiful bathrooms. And while I don't think you're probably sitting here today going, oh, my big decision is going to be based on the bathtub or the bathroom, but it is a great size bathroom, plenty of space, lots of storage for you and your travel companion, and a nice big marble shower. So I think you'll really be amazed because it's not really the industry standard. Our bathrooms still sort of, stand out from the other guys. And then what about choices? Everybody likes to have choices. Everybody wants to have the best possible experience they can. And you can do that with us on Avalon, whether it is, doing one of our active excursions like canoeing, or maybe doing a stretching class, or going on a bike ride, or maybe you want to do one of our discoveries, which might be a wine tasting or a cooking class, or maybe, just maybe, you have never been to that destination and you'd like to do a walking tour. That is something also that we will have a host with that will take you out and show you what's there to see. So you really do have a lot of variety. So while one thing, while biking might not be what you're interested in, but your spouse is, and if you're interested in cooking classes, you can do, you can each do what you came to do, which I think is nice. Okay, so moving on, I did want to talk about Burgundy Provence, and this is a great itinerary for a couple of reasons. One, it is our, the core cruise is 8 days. It goes northbound and southbound, and it goes from Burgundy down to Provence. So again, if you like great wine, we will have great local wines on board, and it's very easy to add on a pre or a post cruise option. And we also have great special interest cruises. So we have wine appreciation, we have World War II, we have all those kinds of things, and you never pay extra for those special theme cruises, which I think is always nice. We just give you more. Oops. Okay, and so moving on to some of the other really great itineraries that we do with a lot of our French itineraries. The Palace of the Popes. Mark, you've been there many times, have you not?
I have, and it's absolutely spectacular. And What I want people to know too is it's one of the most intact gated walled cities that you will ever see anywhere. It's Avignon is a must-see destination.
Yes, and of course, on our river cruises that specialize in wine, we will have a sommelier that travels with us, a master wine specialist. And so we'll do some cheese tasting, some wine tasting, all kinds of great things on these itineraries. Of course, I have to talk about Paris to Normandy because we do offer this as a cruise as well. And you could extend your stay in Paris. You could maybe add on London, or some people want to add on that Britain sampler, like Mark was talking about before. We really do have an awful lot of people, especially at cruise holidays, that do back-to-back tours. One might be a cruise and one might be a tour, but you know, you'll save on airfare if you only have to go there once, right? So you might as well take advantage. And on this itinerary, you're going to see, like I said, the Giverny Gardens. You have a really nice amount of time there. You will get to do a pastry demonstration. So that really means actually they'll give you the dough. Like last time I was in Germany, or Austria rather, we did a class and I learned how to make cream horns. We call them cream horns in my family, but you know, you have to use this hollow metal piece that you wrap the dough around, so that when you slide that out, then you can fill it with the beautiful cream and tasty cream. We'll also go to Busy Castle and visit the astronomical clock. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. Again, there are going to be some things that are just, you know, must-see things, but what I really love are the things that we went into these villages and we said, what would you, if you were telling somebody, you know, if you were giving somebody suggestions about what to do in your area, what would it be? And so there's really like those local kind of favorites that we're also able to offer. Now, we also have the Active and Discovery, and we have one on the Moselle, which is really quite nice because this is, you're not going fast. I mean, you're not going a very far distance. Every day you will make one or possibly two stops. We usually overnight in at least one of the locations. But here's some things that you can experience on this particular itinerary. You could do a tour of Frankenstein's castle, which, you know, sometimes when you hear about Frankenstein, you're like, was that just a fable, or how does that work? Of course, also some great winery tours. And one of my favorite things that I wasn't sure I would, you know, like as much as I do is the walking tour at Luxembourg City, because remember, that's a walled off community and it has lots of history as well. What's your favorite thing to do on the Moselle, Mark?
Well, I tell you what, if you're there in fall, my favorite thing to do is sit on the top deck of the river cruise ship with a glass of wine and watch the colors of that river. I think Moselle might be the most scenic of all of the rivers of France, or maybe even of Europe. You know, I've been to all these places. The wine in those regions are great. Koblenz is right there on the intersection of the Rhine and the Moselle. There's just, it's absolutely a beautiful place to go. And Robin, you know, one thing I'd like to have our audience know is that we know these destinations from firsthand experience. So I think we are better equipped to counsel or advise our clients than maybe, gosh, anybody else, at least in this area, maybe in the country. And we can customize your vacation any way you want, whether you want to take one of the packages, whether it's a tour, whether it's a cruise, or a combination of the tour, and let us match you or give you the information with what's right for you, what you're looking for, because there are, Robin, to your point, there's just so many options, aren't there?
There are, and you know, one of the things that I love, and you know, I come into town and do trainings with your staff on a regular basis, but so many of them have taken their own time to go explore with us, and that really means an awful lot. So, you know, even if, you know, like I think we've had 2 people in the office that have done this Active and Discovery on their own, and they were really raving about all the great choices of those excursions. You know, we do a culinary walking tour where you learn to pick out different things and then you get a snack at the end. We do a hike, but it's in a vineyard. We also will take you to these beautiful provincial farmhouses to learn from the folks that live there exactly how their day-to-day life is, which is pretty amazing as well. And Mark, you were talking about this walking tour in Arles with the Colosseum, correct?
Oh yeah, that's exactly the one I was talking about. Man, I've been in that exact location. Matter of fact, I've taken a picture that looks a little bit like that. And you know, well, and I'm a big history guy. Boy, I love history. And this is actually an active Colosseum still. They have concerts, they have bullfights, they have things going on. So next to the Colosseum in Rome, this is the second biggest Colosseum ever built by the Romans, and it's still active today. Think about that, nearly 2,000 years later. Hey,
Wow.
Robin, while I'm on the subject though, what Mimi liked best about Arles when we were there before is that picture, at least on my screen on the right, where it's the culinary walking tour through the markets. Oh my gosh, the markets in France maybe are some of the most culturally exciting and stimulating because of all the colors and everything. And this is how people shop over there. They don't have big refrigerators like we do or big grocery stores. So they go to the markets every day and pick up fresh food like you see here, fruits and vegetables. And gosh, the cultural experience, Robin, honestly, it's just a fabulous, there's truly something for everybody there.
There is, and you know, it's a great point about, you know, how ingredients make their way to our ships. We do a lot of farm to table. You actually will see somebody from the chef's team that will go in and get certain items from the local markets. We want that, you know, we want that to be a really great showcase when you're on tour or on the rivers with us. And then, of course, this is probably right up Mark's alley to do the Rhine and the Moselle. And it's just 11 days, which is kind of a nice little extended sailing. But you will get to start or end in Amsterdam and then head down to Basel or do the reverse. And there's so many great things. This really was all about views for me. The Rhine River Gorge is fantastic. As you sail down the Rhine River Gorge, you'll see castles on either side of you. I mean, almost too many to count. And of course, the canals in Amsterdam, we talked about those a little bit more. We also have an excursion to the Black Forest. We have one tour to the Black Forest where it's actually a hike. So there's lots of different ways that you can see different destinations. You just have to, you know, get to know what each sailing has to offer. Now, that kind of takes us away from our itineraries, but I also did want to remind everyone that we are working diligently to have these great safety protocols put in place. We are committed to being clean and touching hearts and not hands, and making sure that everybody who travels with us is able to go home and be very healthy as well. So we do have, through the year of 2022, that you are required to be vaccinated to travel with us, and that's really for everyone's safety. But you know, as we loosen, you know, different rules and regulations, no more do you need a test to get back into the U.S. So that really helps a lot of people feel more excited about travel. So we do have a lot of great special offers.
Before we get into this, let me just tell everybody, if I can, that this is the last 2 years have been very challenging with policies and procedures, so uniquely different between the countries, between the vendors like Avalon or Globus that are going to these countries, the airlines. So more and more people are coming back and doing business with knowledgeable professional vacation specialists like us, because they understand the risk is too great to make a mistake during these times, and that we know these policies and we know the procedures, we know everything that you'll need to know to make sure you have a perfect vacation. And Robin, to your point, in early June, when the CDC receded the requirement to have a negative COVID test to get back into the United States, holy cow, our business just skyrocketed in the month of June. And we know that's going to continue on throughout July, August, September, and the balance of this year.
Absolutely. I mean, it has just been bonkers with people getting ready to try and get travel in yet in 22. We do still have space in 22, but I mean, all these great specials. Remember 23, there's going to be, in 2023, there's going to be so much demand and we won't be able, none of the vendors will be able to keep up. So the early bird gets the worm. So it's not too early to talk about next year. Remember, you can always move a deposit before final payment to a different vacation or date if you're interested in doing that for some reason. So just, I really encourage you to purchase the travel insurance so that if you need to cancel, you can get vouchers or money back. And then all these great offers. And don't forget, Cruise Holidays also has an exclusive $100 off per couple. And all of those active and discovery sailings that I showed you, they actually, because Cruise Holidays is such a big account nationwide, they actually have special gratuities. So you wouldn't pay for gratuities on the active and discovery sailings. So it's really a win-win. We can offer you lots of different choices. We do have some great air specials as well. So there's no time better than right now to reach out to your advisor.
Yeah, and Robin, I was going to, here, I'll come back on, but I was going to say this to everybody. I think if you're thinking about vacationing in 2023, hopefully you're thinking still in 2022, and I want you to call us immediately, if you will, 816-505-1500. It's always good to talk to people. You can email us too, and you can always go to our website and read about us or find out about some of the specials that we have on. But talking to a knowledgeable professional vacation advisor is really what I advise to you to do, because somebody in this company has been to the places you want to go, and we know how to get the best values for you. But most importantly, it's our knowledge from firsthand experience and our caring attitudes to put a program together with you for the kind of vacation you're wanting and match you up with what's right for you. And I'm a little selfish and prideful, but I don't think anybody in the whole country does it better than we do here. And there's not too many travel agencies that have kept employees like we have. In fact, we've just hired 2 more. We've hired 4 new employees already this year to show you how our business is skyrocketing. So if you're wanting to go in 22, I'd say call us immediately. Let us help find you something. And there are still some great values. But even more importantly, if you're thinking about vacationing in 2023, as Robin said, let me make it a little stronger if I can. Everybody we deal with in the vacation industry, whether it's river cruises, tour companies like Globus, of course, or Avalon River Cruising, all-inclusive resorts, ocean cruising, customized tours, airplanes, airlines, hotels, everybody believes next year, 2023, will be the biggest year in the history of vacationing. And I don't mean by a little bit, I mean by a lot. So availability is going to be
absolutely, yes. We want to make sure that your dream vacation can be planned and ready to go. So they are among the best of the best here at Cruise Holidays. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. And of course, don't forget to call your advisor, because we do have those special offers exclusive just to Cruise Holidays. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us.
Robin, thank you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you sharing this information. Viva la France, or ooh, wow. We love France, we love Globus, and we love Cosmos. We can, and Avalon River Cruise, we can match up what you're looking for to make sure you have the best vacation at the best price that you can possibly have. We want to earn your business and keep your business local if you can. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.